It's no surprise to most that the United States has a massive military budget. Is it necessary to have that much money allocated to our armed forces? According to Dowdy in a 2001 article titled Better Arms for Fewer Soldiers, the United States spends nearly twice as much on its military than 13 European nations in NATO combined. We're at about 275 billion back in 2001, and the 13 nations were about 140 billion. Why should we be concerned about this? Well, we all pay taxes. We're all vested in the future of this nation. We should want the government to be fiscally responsible and keep us safe at the same time. I don't believe the military budget should be cut. Is there a way to monitor and allocate funding better? Possibly. But what would we be giving up to save those few dollars? My name is Ryan Duffy. I am a sergeant in the U.S. Army Reserves. I've been in the military about 18 years. In my time, I have seen gross waste of money, but I've also seen parts where there are shortages in funding. Do we spend enough on our military here in the U.S.? How would cutting our budget affect our economy? Because the military puts a lot of money into the economy. And how would cutting the budget affect our military itself? What if I told you that 25% of the people in the United States believe we don't spend enough on our military? There are opinions all across the board on how people feel about the military budget. According to HIPS, in a 2020 article titled The Truth About Defense Spending, a Gallup poll from 2019 showed that 25% of people, as I just mentioned, thinks the U.S. spends too little on its military. 29% believe it spends too much, and 43% think we're about where we should be. I'm one of the 25%. The budget is fine, don't touch it. As I mentioned, I have experience with shortages of funding in the military. For lack of a better term, when it happens, it sucks. I was slotted for a school, and battalion told me there wasn't money to send me to the school. That school was required for my next promotion, so I got put at the back of the list for my promotion. Besides money for training, it's important to be more technologically advanced than our enemies. If we have better technology, most people won't want to go to war with us. So not only will we be able to win a war if we get into one, it could possibly prevent wars because no one wants to fight the big tough guy. According to Strout in a 2020 article titled New Pentagon Budget Request, it invests in 4 advanced technologies. The DoD, Department of Defense, has allocated $7 billion of the nearly $107 billion research, development, test, and engineering budget towards advanced capability enablers. Basically, advanced capability enablers are steps that will put us just a little ahead of the enemy. They're talking about artificial intelligence, hypersonic, which is, I don't even know how fast that is, but it's faster than supersonic. We haven't had a near-peer war since World War II. Near-peer is basically when we're fighting somebody with similar capabilities. Fighting a near-peer is ugly because they're dropping bombs in the middle of our chow hall due to their intelligence at the time we have the most people there. They have pinpoint accuracy. The wars we've been fighting for the past, since Vietnam, they've all been just like lobbing mortars, missiles, whatever they can, and hoping they get lucky and hit what they're going for. Our near-peer adversaries, they have very good technology, so we got to try to stay one step ahead of them. Imagine this. Imagine living somewhere with horrible infrastructure, not knowing where your next meal is going to come from, and having a leader that spends 22% of your GDP, your nation's GDP, on their military. That's North Korea. That's not the U.S. North Korea spends about 22% of their GDP on their military. Here in the U.S., we're right around 3.4% of our GDP. Our budget is $700 billion, over $700 billion, but it's only 3.4% of our GDP. So it's a small slice of the pie. Do we need to cut it even shorter than 3.4%? I don't believe so. Okay, so a 2017 article from PR Newswire titled United States Defense and Security, leading spending for military support. The U.S. ranks ninth in world expenditure for the military related to percentage of GDP. That's from 2017. As of 2020, we are actually closer to 20th in the world for military spending versus GDP. So there are 19 nations out there that spend less money, but more percentage-wise of their GDP. The bottom line is making sure there's enough funding for our troops to get the proper training. We have the technology above our enemies, and we have the best equipment in the world. Those are very important. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't sleep well knowing I voted for saving a few dollars over the safety and stability of our soldiers.